Now that this cow is out of the barn, the President and the Director of National Intelligence needs to address it. They need to explain to the American people, if they know, and I'm not sure they know, if they know they're not telling us, what these things are, who put them up there, and do they pose a threat to the American people? And if the answer is no, how do they know that?
What's your assessment? Do you feel like there's a threat? Learning what you've just learned, do you feel like the threat level is low or not or high?
The only thing I feel confident saying right now is that if you are confused, you understand the situation perfectly.
Welcome back to Third Phase of Moon. Blake Cousins, and we're going over the breaking news events as it continues on a daily basis. Reaction from the Senate.
Didn't really learn a darn thing.
Did you get any answers as to what those other objects were?
Not at all.
Not at all.
None of them.
There ought to be more transparency, whether it's from the president in a national address or through some other senior official. The American people need and deserve more facts in real time, not months later, but right now.
You know, I think it is time for the president to address the nation. This is when we need to have an Oval Office address. And he needs to say, this is what we know, this is what we're doing.
Is the President of the United States going to come forward in regards to what's really going on? When is the official word coming from the top?
They're lost. They can't find them. The remnants are in very difficult terrain, low temperatures, lots of inclement weather, and they're looking, but they haven't been able to find them, except for these pipelines.
As we stated moments ago on our past few episodes, where is the wreckage, the debris from the unknown objects being shot down? Will we ever see them given to the public?
When you say there's been many...
Address the nation.
Well, I think that given where we are and the impression that this is some sort of circumstances that's happened in the last couple of weeks, I think at a minimum our Director of National Intelligence should go in front of the American people and explain what we know, what we don't know, without divulging any classified information. But it's clear to me this is not a recent phenomenon.
Now, senators in the United States are now saying that the UFO is a phenomenon and it's been going on for years now with no explanation to the public.
But Americans are worried, they're concerned, they're interested, and they have a right to know why President Biden directed the actions that he did over the last week. So I urge once again President Biden to come today, speak directly on camera to the American people, just as past presidents have in similar moments, like Ronald Reagan explained what had happened when Soviet Russia shot down a Korean Airlines flight in 1983, like George Bush spoke to the American people after Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait in 1990. President Biden needs to explain to the American people why he has been doing what he's been doing.
Still awaiting the statements from the president at the Oval Office. Will it be happening anytime soon?
And why do you think the administration waited until now to start bringing this to light if this has been happening?
I don't know.
Roger Marshall said he feels it's like a fear-mongering, it's intentional fear-mongering.
I don't know. I just know that going into the last two hearings, I had the impression that this was something that had happened over the last 2 weeks, and that's not accurate. This has been going on a long time.
Do they give an explanation as to why they're shooting them down now? Why
Nope,
they're deciding?
They did not.
Yeah, some are saying that it's a wagging of the dog to improve approval ratings.
I don't care to speculate on that. I just know that we need some more transparency. I understand the need for national security secrets, but now that this cow is out of the barn, the President and the Director of National Intelligence needs to address it.
As you heard from the senator, the cow is out of the barn. Those statements are provocative. Is the UFO cover-up about to be broken wide open? I highly doubt it. It seems to me that they're going to continue to keep this top secret, national security level.
Let me emphasize, Let me say it again. This has been going on for a long time. We know some of the objects. Others we think we probably missed. And we don't know what most of them are.
Senator, do you feel
So
you
bottom
learned
line, you're
anything?
kind of walking away from this thing still having a lot of questions.
Yes. Yes.
Did you
We have unity in confusion.
The confusion continues, but what's interesting is the pilot's testimony who shot down these unidentified objects. We have obtained from the drive, they've got the audio from the F22 pilots in regards to what they encountered in the sky. It's a little fuzzy, the audio, but this is best as we got right now. Listen closely to this.
Oh, I'm gonna call the balloon. I don't really know what. I couldn't see anything necessarily below. Definitely didn't see it outside my eyes. It definitely looks like something, there's some kind of object that's suspended in the air. It's hard to tell. It's pretty small. I cannot see it outside of my eyes. 1-1 in the targeting pod. You can see something. I can't tell if it's metallic or what. And there's, I can see like lines coming down below, but I can't see anything below it. 1-1. Looking outside is kind of like a blackish. I'm gonna call it like a container. I can't really tell though what the shape is. Going it's just so slow and so small and you can't see it until you're so close. I'd honestly be worried about hitting it before you know you're there. It's almost like a octagon shape. I'm gonna call it a balloon. You can definitely see strings hanging down below, but I don't see anything below it. It's pretty small. I don't know, size of like a four-wheeler or something.
They don't know what it is. We've enhanced the audio. I put some denoiser in there so we can hear a little bit better of what the pilots are saying. Here's some of the stuff that stood out. Basically dark blackish container with 3 to 4 lines hanging down, but nothing suspended from it. As we listen a little closer, it says it's causing static. That's interesting. Is this some kind of propulsion system, some kind of static coming from these lines hanging down from this blackish container? One pilot could hear, but I guess it couldn't transmit. They said it wasn't tracking on radar, and it was smaller than a car, about the size of a four-wheeler. Reflects a glint from the sun, and it's hard to tell, but again, it's like our documentaries, Above Top Secret and Countdown to Disclosure. The posters match perfectly, resembling what's happening today. We came out with these posters a couple years ago. Countdown to Disclosure is about 3 years old. Above Top Secret last year, the biggest documentaries on Amazon Prime, and now we came up with the concept for latest documentary, UFO Endgame to Disclosure, a few months ago. But then once again, are we going to be seeing what's represented in our poster for the upcoming documentary, UFO Endgame to Disclosure, coming out March 14th? An object over the White House? You never know, but we've got more UFO sightings just since the third phase of moon. So guys, take a look at this.
Ahí va. Vamos a ver. Viene arriba de nosotros.
Está a una velocidad de la hostia.
Pues sí, y si, pero eso puede que sea un dron, mira, nos está viendo.
Mira.
Y de repente se apaga. Entonces hace rato se encendió cañón, ¿no? Y luego
Esa luz roja es lo que vemos. Mira. Mira cómo sube. Es una velocidad de la hostia.
Y debe ser como una bola. Qué bueno que no está temblando el pulso. Ahí sí sonó como a dron. Se oye como... Pero otra vez vuelve a brillar.
Actually, it's interesting. Recently, Mexico has had their own UFO sightings. Are the military jets over there going to start engaging and shooting out UFOs? I'm not exactly sure, but right now this luminescent orb seems a little too bright to be a drone to me, unless it's some kind of new drone that I'm not aware of. It almost looks as it's bright as the sun sometimes, but the way it maneuvers and moving right to left and then just hangs static over there, that resembles some drone maneuvers. But then again, the luminance of light coming off of this thing, it pops. Brent, what's your thoughts here?
Yeah, I like this. I'm going to definitely rule out that this is CGI. Whatever we're looking at is real. You can see this light's pretty far off in the distance, and to create that beam of light so luminescent would take quite a bit of energy. Again, could this just be some sort of phenomena, a plasmic ball, some sort of static electricity ball that's just floating in the sky, or is this some sort of a new drone of propulsion, something we're not familiar with, a phenomenon?
Absolutely. Pretty stunning capture. Again, it's hard to tell exactly what it is, but I'm going to roll out helicopter or airplane. And the way this thing maneuvered, and look at that, it's so bright. It's hard to make out exactly what's going on here. This is definitely a UFO, in my opinion. Not saying it's alien, but it's unidentified. Now let's take a look at this daytime sighting. Watch.
Yo, is that an alien? Is that a UFO? Does anybody know? It's gotta be, right? Oh, shit.
Here we go, side-by-side comparison, the original to the left. I blew it up to the right so we could get a little closer at this object. Definitely, like we're hearing in the news, a gray cylindrical object. This is very interesting, hovering out there over open water. It seems quite windy during that. I'm wondering why the guy on the ground, is he looking at it? I believe this object is not manipulated. It's not put in there. We're looking at it. It's official. It's real, but I'm wondering why the guy's not looking at it over there. He's enjoying the surf, but if I were him and this is something extraordinary, I'd be looking at it a little bit closer. Brent, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, we've seen these kind of objects over ocean areas taken from all parts of the world, and this one right here, it's hard to say how far off it is over the ocean. I'm wondering, could this just be some sort of commercial blimp? But then again, I don't see any cabin underneath it or any FAA lights popping off this thing. It just seems pretty static up there, and it's pretty strange, but we just don't know what this thing is.
Now that this cow is out of the barn, the president and the director of national intelligence needs to address it. They need to explain to the American people, if they know, and I'm not sure they know, if they know they're not telling us, what these things are, who put them up there, and do they pose a threat to the American people? And if the answer is no, how do they know that?
What's your assessment? Do you feel like there's a threat? Learning what you've just learned, do you feel like the threat level is low or high?
The only thing I feel confident saying right now is that if you are confused, you understand the situation perfectly.
Exactly. We're all in it together right now, trying to figure out what the heck is going on in our skies and around the world.
Didn't really learn a darn thing.
Did you get any answers as to what those other objects were?
Not at all.
Not at all?
Not at all.
There ought to be more transparency, whether it's from the president in a national address or through some other senior official. The American people need and deserve more facts in real time, not months later, but right now.
You know, I think it is time for the president to address the nation. This is when we need to have an Oval Office address. And he needs to say, this is what we know, this is what we're doing.
What do you guys think? Is she right? Are these senators demanding too much from our president for him to come forward and tell the American people what's really going on? Why have we not seen any of the wreckage or debris from the past 3 shootdowns? We saw it immediately with the Chinese balloon within 24 hours, I think a little less than that, they were showing us the balloon that they recovered off the coast of South Carolina. Now we're not seeing any debris from these recent shootdowns. They say that they're hard to reach locations, and some people are saying in the government we may never see the wreckage or debris from this shoot down. Does this make any sense to you? Do you believe that the president should come forth and tell us? Brent, what's your thoughts on this, that we'll never see the debris? How is this possible?
Yeah, the Oval Office needs to bring something out and inform the public right away. Again, if we're never going to see any debris from any of these objects that were shot down, well, hell, let's see the video from the... I'm sure these events were recorded with high detail, and it would explain a lot if they just released that video. And we hope to hear something from Biden anytime. It'd be interesting to see what he says. But then again, I'm not holding my breath. And even if he does say something, I'm sure it's going to be kind of mundane, and he's just going to pass it off and kind of peddle it off as nothing, a non-event. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, this is kind of screaming to me Roswell, New Mexico all over. Are they going to be showing us the debris? If not, it's very interesting, and the conspiracies will go on forever. So, wow, what a Valentine's Day. And look at these hearts from Mars. Somebody's found all these natural formations on the planet. Pretty amazing stuff. Now, check out UFO Endgame.
It's a mind-blowing situation. For the public, it's like, oh, a conspiracy theory, it's entertaining. But if you're actually in a responsible position and you find out that there's a whole secret government program that you don't know about, it's a shock.
This report comes from a shadowy Pentagon department that was shut down in 2012.
The disclosure movement has been hijacked by people parroting the narrative and the script being written by these black projects. I would say 90+% of everything that's going to come out is false.
The most widely seen UFO right now is not alien, it's actually ours.
It's a great cover story for all kinds of criminal activities. Blame it on the aliens, right?
If we are being visited by interdimensional beings, we should know about it.
This has the big disadvantage of the truth being much more unbelievable than the fiction.
It's the crash retrievals that are the Rosetta Stone for solving the UFO cover-up.
The implications of this is the difference between extinction level civilization versus one that's going to take off to the stars.
It's available worldwide March 14th, 2023. Pre-order it. It's available. Guys, take care. We'll see you next time.